that to me, they're all kind of locked in to, their models, and, their agent counts are suffering. You look across all these legacy brands, and they're all losing agents, largely because the value props higher at EXP and some of our competitors that are in the space that is cloud-based. So yeah, I don't know what they do. It's like organizing chairs on the Titanic, in my opinion. I wouldn't, I wouldn't want to be at the helm of one of those companies for sure.
What's funny is I was listening to a podcast. I think you listened to the same podcast, Jay. We're not going to mention names, but it was very interesting listening to a gentleman who was kind of defending these legacy brands, namely, kind of Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, which I don't know if you would call it a legacy brand, but they're a legacy model.
It's an iconic brand for sure.
It's an iconic brand, but I'm talking about the real estate sector of it, home services specifically. And there's so many different layers to all the different franchises and who owns what. And it's so complex and so complicated. The funny part about the comment that was made on the podcast is that he was insinuating that the cloud-based that usually typically has a leadership group at the top, or one leader that drives things, such as a Glenn or a Leo or a Sharon, which I know we're going to talk about, that's a weakness to us. And that these legacy brands that have the franchises with many leaders that you don't hear about, that's their strength. And he couldn't even describe the value proposition of Berkshire. Since when Berkshire Hathaway, I guess, kind of acquired all the Prudentials, and a lot of my friends that were at Prudential were acquired, and they were all excited about it. They were excited about having Berkshire Hathaway on their side. I thought to myself, 50% of Americans do not own stock and don't even have any kind of inclination of what Berkshire Hathaway, why there's significance to that. 50%. Mm-hmm. The other 50% know. The other 50% do not know. I'm not seeing how that's a competitive advantage. Century 21 has a bigger brand name, even though they're archaic at this point. They have a bigger brand name when it comes to like Kleenex on tissues, right? Than Berkshire Hathaway Home Services does. They weren't able, not one person was able, even still to this day, to explain to me, what is your competitive advantage?
Yeah.
Explain to me in 30 seconds.
Ironic.
Why are you picking an agent to grow their business on your platform? They couldn't explain it.
Right. It's ironic because Berkshire Hathaway, and one of the things Warren Buffett says that is one of the first things he looks at in buying any company is their durable competitive advantage in the marketplace. That's one of the main things that he looks at. And so to hear, and I didn't realize this, but they picked up that deal with Prudential. The real estate wasn't the focus. That was something that came with it. It wasn't the focus of the deal. And so they really probably didn't want to get in the real estate space. They just ended up in the real estate space when they bought Prudential. And so, but yeah, I mean, and this all comes down to what we've talked about for years, which is who manages the customer experience. Mm-hmm. Right? The only value in a brand is if you actually control and manage the customer experience. And no real estate company, other than Redfin, who tried to do it for less, which ironically they didn't have any competition because nobody wanted to compete with that. It's difficult to be profitable in that space as it is, but to control the consumer experience, and we did attempt to try to do it as best as it could be done in our own marketplace and controlling the consumer experience. Just like Jay-Z says, I'm not a businessman, I am the businessman. The real estate agent is the brand, and that's what EXP gets. It's brokered by EXP. You can buy Dell, you can buy Microsoft, you're powered by EXP, and that's that by Intel in that example. And so these brands don't bring any value to the table, because you could go to any one of those brands, ours included, and have a good experience or a bad experience, right? Because the agent controls the experience. And so there is no value in the brand. And so, and if there is, maybe they lock down some referral business or a business unit that they control. Well, what are they doing? They're monetizing that through the agent on a 40% referral fee. So it's not where you want to build your business. That's for sure as an agent. And I think most agents I talk to, even the ones that haven't been doing it that long, realize that, yeah, I ain't getting anything from the company. How many deals did you close last year that came from your brand? Right. Some of the newer ones may say, well, yeah, I use the brand when I'm explaining my value proposition as part of that. But as soon as you realize that you don't need that, you're going to wherever you have the what is the best platform for you to build your business? What creates the best, what's the best vehicle for you to get to your financial goals? That's what agents are looking for. And, I think that, the last 10 years, if you look at how much money came in trying to disrupt the real estate agent and replace them, I mean, Zillow put more money into it than anybody. And they said, forget it. We'll just do flex, and we're going to give leads to the best agents in every marketplace. And that's how we're going to monetize this thing. It's very difficult to control, the entire experience and not have a great real estate agent in the middle. And so, I think, there's less money going after replacing the real estate agent at this point. When you look at the new companies that are popping up, where did Purple Bricks go? I don't see them anywhere. They came in, they said, no, we don't want no part of this. They left the industry. So it is fascinating to watch, but these legacy brands are in a bad spot. They don't control the brand. They don't control the experience. And so the company that agents are going to gravitate to, or where is the opportunity the biggest for them?